Good evening, everybody. I didn't realize I got live. Good evening. Good to see you, folks. Hey, sorry about last week. I was on a special mission. Sounds very secretive. No, on Monday I was down in London, so I wasn't able to join you last week on Live Date, and also then on Thursday was what else do I have? Oh, I had an RGN's meeting, which ran over. So apologies, but lovely to see you. And welcome to the Care Managers Inner Circle. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to our little abode here. We're a friendly place, a friendly group. You're in good company. We've all got our battle knickers on. If you don't know what we're talking about, anyway, we've all got battle knickers hoisted up to our ears, and we're here to support every single one of you. This is a non-commercial site. You will not find any promoting or advertising on here. And so it's a safe zone for you to share. And we are here genuinely to support each other, myself included. You know, I reach out to some amazing people on here. So lovely to see you, folks, and welcome. John, a little bit of ukulele. Someone said the other day, you haven't been on the ukulele in a while. I don't know why that is, actually, but I play every day. And also tonight, I mean, let's face it. So tonight is how to deal with stuff in your life. And one thing I've got to say is that, you know, we're in jobs which is incredibly stressful. It is, you know, you've got people's emotions. It's emotionally charged. And it's not as stressful as probably being a traffic warden or something like that. I can't imagine in a million years. And we need traffic wardens. I'm not saying nothing about traffic wardens, but I can't imagine being in a situation where part of your job is going around upsetting people, putting tickets up. But we need traffic wardens, so I'm not saying that. But I couldn't. I'm not the person for that. I used to be in the army trying to kill people. Maybe that's different, but I just couldn't handle it. So respect to any traffic wardens out there. I couldn't do your job. But if you are in a situation where you are a care manager of a care home, particularly after last year, oh my goodness, no, that is stressful. And when you consider, you know, my previous background, which is being in the forces and certainly operationally, which understandably can be stressful, I've dealt with nothing like I did last year. So for every single one of you out there just thinking, wow, you know, it was tough. It was tough and it remains tough. But you guys are fantastic. You're doing absolutely brilliant. So why is this topic important? Because putting stuff in perspective, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's about. It's about reframing. It's about putting stuff in perspective. It's about being able to step back from the job. And it's about understanding that, yes, whilst what we're doing is super important, nothing's more important than your life and your own mental health as well. And so putting that in balance. And let's face it, guys, life is short. Life is really, really super short. So come on, before someone gives you some bad news, before someone's, you know, close to you in your family is suddenly no longer there, and you start regretting some of the decisions. Because I can assure you now, for every single one of you out there, if you're detesting the job that you do, it doesn't matter what walk, it doesn't matter what, you know, you work in the supermarket, you do the following, doesn't matter what you know, if you're doing something that you do not enjoy, then stop doing it and start enjoying life, or do something completely different. You know, your health and your mental well-being is just too important. So let me just get my notes. Hold on. Right, so got a little song for you. This is, someone said, yeah, so where's the ukulele? Well, the ukulele's here. One thing you'll discover is I can't sing and I can't play the ukulele, which is a good combo, actually. But anyway, here we go. So. Ain't she sweet? Told you I couldn't sing. Don't you think it's kind of neat? Ask you very confidentially. Ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her up once or twice. Ask you very confidentially. Ain't she nice? Just cast an eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think it's kind of neat? Ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ask you very confidentially, ain't she sweet? So there you go, we're done with ukulele. Folks, once again, good to see you. Right, so let me go back to how to deal with stuff in your life and learning to cope. This is super important. I don't care what walk of life. You might not even be a care manager. You might be watching this evening. This also is for you, because being able to cope with stuff in your life is really important. Because that's how not only we cope, that's how in terms of position of leadership, that's in terms of position of management, we want our leaders and our managers to be able to cope. We don't want our leaders and managers not to be able to cope. And I'm also, what I'm saying is that if you're not coping, that's equally okay. But you need a mechanism to be able to deal with that. And I think that's so super important. So in life, it is about how you deal with it. So first and foremost, just accept. So that if you're in a job, particular care manager's job, accept that you are going to deal with stuff. You're going to deal with brown and smelly stuff, which is going to be chucked at you personally. In the last year alone, I've dealt with so many legal stuff, tribunal stuff, personalized stuff, that it's quite unbelievable. But it also, do I take that personally? No, I don't, because it comes with the turf. If you're top of the tree, and that's not my ego speaking, but if you're top of the tree in an organization, I'm going to say a very small tree, but if you're top of that tree in your organization, then I'm afraid your head's above the parapet. You're going to deal with some incoming. And if you put above that, you're going to get a bit of incoming fire. So that's how it rolls, guys. It's not personal. Anyone else in your position would also be dealing with this stuff on a daily basis. And again, so don't take it personal. I'm afraid that's just how it rock and rolls. But it's how we deal with it, it's how we react to it, and how we choose to react to it, which is a super important thing. There are main three things that we can massively influence our own lives by. And that is what we consume. So first and foremost, what we decide to consume. So if you decide to look at Facebook all the time, if you decide to look at those emails all the time, if you decide to consume that consistently, then it's not going to be a good place. You're just feeding bad stuff into your head. I'm afraid your little brain chimp is going to have an absolute feeding frenzy on that stuff. So understand that that's not great. So understand that and accept that, what you feed on and the material you feed on is going to have a direct influence on how you cope with stuff in life. That's first and foremost. The next thing then is that the people that surround you, if you surround yourselves by moaning minis all the time, if the person that you go to for advice consistently gives you advice along the lines of, well, you want to do this and you want to sack them or this, then that's probably not the most objective person. And we all know that in life, there are people that know the buttons, that know the triggers to trigger you. And you understand that they're not the people you want to go for objective advice. So surround yourself by people that are objective, that can give you some tough love, that can say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, Jonathan, but actually, actually, you want to look at it from their point of view. You want to look at it because I can understand they're the real people, because they're a balance. And we all have that emotional moment. The emotional moment where you're explaining a story to someone and it has two choices. It can go left and be diffused, or it can go right and end up absolutely exploding with all the petrol and everything else. And typically, once you've set that taper, once you've set that fizzing taper to the bomb, then typically it's very difficult to get it back in, because emotionally you're then set. And so have a considered friend, a critical friend that says, I think, Johnny, you need to step back from this, think of it from their point of view, and possibly not send that email today. The next one then is your environment. So the environment within which you work, if it is a chaotic environment, if when you look at your wall, it is just one of chaos and Post-its and unfinished work and just a spread of paper, then that's not the best environment for you to think in a considered manner. So therefore, always just make sure your environment is also conducive. So it might be having little daffy little signs. This isn't where I work, I must say, but have little daffy little signs. Make sure you've got plants in your, a calm environment as best you can will certainly bring out the very best in you in terms of decision making. So there are 5 areas that typically a care manager will deal with. Let me just go through those, right? So that can also be a source of stress. First and foremost, it's dealing with your staff, probably the numero uno, but dealing with staff. The next one is your residents, then your relatives, then what I class as other stuff, and finally, then your personal life. Your personal life, your family life, your financial life, all of that. So your personal world is also, and they're the big 5. And typically, number 1 and number 5 are the big ones: your personal life and also dealing with staff. Because staff, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to dealing, your team will never be set. You will always be continually team building and nurturing those people. And it's for you to navigate that way with people's emotions. And they're so beautifully different. And people come with different baggage, different emotional baggage, different emotional triggers. And it's for you to navigate that minefield, I'm afraid, folks. It doesn't fall to anyone else. It falls to every single one of you to deal with that. Right, so let's just go. The first thing is let's, just understand that, as my mom used to say, she used to have very little time for self-pity. And that is certainly a resilience which I still have to this day. There is no place for self-pity. So the moment where you're starting to feel sorry for yourself, where you start to feel as if you can have a little bit of a cry, that's absolutely fine if that's a release for you. But understand there is absolutely no positive effect of self-pity. And so whilst enjoy 20 seconds of it, then move on. Give yourself, grab yourself by the scruff of the neck, move on, because it really does not serve any purpose whatsoever. As much as I'd love to try and find a positive aspect of it, but I'm afraid they don't exist. So please, self-pity serves very little purpose. And that's, and certainly never vocalize it in the same way as, if you're not looking forward to a particular meeting, if you're not looking forward to a particular day, never turn to your partner in the morning and say, "Oh God, I'm really not looking forward to this." And the reason I say that is because as soon as your little chimp in your brain hears as soon as your conscious brain hears that, it percolates into your subconscious brain, and then you'll start to look for reasons why you're not going to enjoy today. And so just don't even vocalize it. It's just there's no point, store it at the back of your brain and just eject it. So accept it's part of your job. And, if you don't like it, as I say, you've got to suck it up, buttercup. This is part of your job, part of your, and that's what it's about. If you're not dealing with crappy stuff on a daily basis or frequently, then I'm afraid you're not doing your job right, because you've got to make tough decisions. You've got to be, I'm afraid, you're not a friend to all. You're going to have to make some, and that just comes with the turf, I'm afraid. So never choose to emotionally deal with a situation. Always sleep on it. Never send that email on that particular day. And it's always better not to react than to react in a way you regret. I'd rather apologize for not getting back to someone maybe 24 or 48 hours later, rather than apologizing for that overreacted email, which is very difficult then to get back. I mean, you can't get it back. And then there's evidence out there of what exactly you said emotionally at that time. And so, just understand that it's better to apologize for the delay rather than apologizing for a wrong reaction. Yeah, that's most important. Find a sensible friend or a confidant, not your emotional mate. Emotional mates are great, but not for decision making in your organization. I think be clear on that. Put things into perspective, reframe it, understand this is part of the job. It's not personal. It's absolutely not personal. As much as staff would like to try and personalize it, the reality is you never personalize it. And try and understand from their point of view what they might be going through. Some people are dealing with some real stuff in their lives. Oh my goodness. So if you can understand that, then that's great. Understand how your brain works. You have an emotional chimp, not for tonight, but emotional chimp, which is always the first mover. Always understand that the emotional chimp will always be the first to react, always be the first to try and vocalize, always be the first off the starting blocks. You've got to pull that chimp back, and you've actually got your considered brain, your sensible brain, your adult brain take over and pull that chimp back into his cage. That is so try and get ahead of the curve, or the wave, or whichever way you want to put it. And the reason for that is that once you take control of it, once you take ownership, and take real control and ownership of that, then straight away you feel as if the situation has been alleviated, and you feel as if you are taking control, which is so important. And never put stuff off. So procrastination is a real stressor in life, and therefore, as soon as you tackle stuff head on, you feel immeasurably better straight away. Exercise, eat well, get into nature very quickly now. You get into nature. The other day, I literally stood at the back door, and it was the most beautiful day. And I remember just shutting my eyes and allowing just a couple of moments. It's about half a minute, something like that, of just the most beautiful sun on my face. Because in life, ladies and gentlemen, just enjoy the journey, because before you know it, we're all going to be dead. Sorry to state the obvious, but enjoy this journey. You're never going to get to your destination. Whatever you think your destination is, you'll never be there, because once you get where you think you're going, you'll never be satisfied. So just understand that your life is this journey, and therefore make absolutely, but play off tune ukulele, try and sing out of key, because that's part of the joke. That's part of life. And so enjoy it. And also I say, get involved in something which is bigger than you. And it might be being a community first responder. It might be doing some volunteering. It might be because, my goodness, you feel like $1,000,000 when you do stuff like that. When you do stuff for other people, it's not about you. It's not about your ego. It's not about your social media profile. It's not about how many times, it's just purely about other people. Then, oh my God, your life becomes so much fulfilled. So, my friends, that's enough for tonight. Oh, right, let me see. Let's see what comments did we have. They'll probably say, "Shut up, Cunningham." Is that Danny then saying made it? There you go. I'm only just showing off because I can do the comments. And here we go. As I know you meant to put poster, but your bottom line made me think for many of us at schedule. But oh, is that what a butt into balance? Thanks, Ross. Obviously, I had a typo there. Brilliant. Let's put our back. So there you go, folks. Always lovely to see you. When you're smiling. Right, that's enough of that. Right, have a lovely evening. Be good to each other. Stay kind, and we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.